Today we have access to tools that can help us do just about anything. These tools allow us to find instant solutions to any problem. You ask a question and you get an answer within seconds. Now, while it's important to understand how to use these tools, what's even more important is to master the skill of creative thinking. Because the true power lies not in the tools themselves, but in how we use them in unique ways to solve our problems. Hi, my name is Faizan Kazani and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to go over what is the skill of creative thinking? Why is it so important? How does this skill improve over time? And finally, I'll be sharing some techniques that you can start doing today to start practicing the skill of creative thinking in your everyday life. Make sure to stick around till the end. Whenever we talk about creativity or creative thinking, our mind always starts thinking about artistic skills or the artistic activities. But creativity is not only limited to anything that is art. In fact, creativity thrives in the midst of our everyday problems. Every problem that we face or every challenge that we encounter provides an opportunity to us to be creative. Now, if you ask someone a question whether they are creative or not, they would start to think about their level of artistic skills. They might say, I'm not really good at art, or I'm not really good at drawing and I suck at painting. And I consider myself more of an analyzer and more of a technical person, so no, I am not creative. But that's incorrect. There's not a fine line between critical thinking and creative thinking. In fact, both creative and critical thinking supplements each other to form this creative problem-solving process, which we're going to talk more about in this video. Whenever we are faced with any problem or a challenge, our first instinct is to always start thinking of ideas that can help us solve the problem. This is called divergent thinking. Now, while thinking divergently, you're not really analyzing the solutions. It doesn't matter if that solution that you have come up with is realistic or not, can be applied or not, makes sense or not. That's not the goal. The goal in divergent thinking is just to come up with as many ideas as you can. Now, once you have all this pool of ideas, then you start refining them and critically analyzing them to see which makes the most sense. Now, this is where critical thinking or convergent thinking comes in play. E. Paul Torrance developed the Torrance test of creative thinking to measure creative potential and showing that how creativity involves not only coming up with new ideas, which is divergent thinking, but also refining them, which is critical or convergent thinking. His research indicated that highly creative individuals often have strong critical thinking abilities because they don't only have to come up with new ideas, they also have to analyze them, evaluate them, assess them, and effectively implement their ideas. Why is thinking creatively so important? We face problems in pretty much every aspect of our lives. And of course, every problem needs to be solved. Now, if we start approaching problems with a negative mindset and asking questions like, why is this happening to me? Or why is this really a problem and this is not supposed to happen? We're not going to go anywhere because we're not really thinking of coming up with solutions or solving the problem. Now, if we simply reframe our question and ask, how might I solve this? It allows our mind's resources to start coming up with new ideas and start thinking of solutions that can help us solve the problem. Thinking creatively with the purpose of looking for solutions to our challenges actually boosts our energy and motivates us to accomplish something new. It energizes us, excites us, and allows us to be a better decision maker and potentially solve our problems. In fact, a study by IBM found that CEOs believe that creativity is the most important leadership quality to help us navigate today's complex problems. A great example of this is Netflix, which used creative strategies to disrupt the entertainment industry. If you didn't already know, Netflix was originally a DVD rental company, and it was due to its creative approach to its business model that it transformed itself into the global streaming giant that it is right now. Creativity is a must-have skill in today's world, and if you're interested in finding out more insights on what's happening in the world of creativity, check out my Creative Insights newsletter. Every month I send out an email in which I share strategies, learnings, tips on how to be more creative. Sign up using the link in the description below. This skill of creative thinking cannot be learned instantly. It requires a lot of practice. And in fact, it should not be looked at as a skill at all. It's actually a way of life. It involves how we approach problems, how we look for solutions, how do we learn from our mistakes and apply those learnings to our next challenge. Approaching our everyday challenges with this mindset of growth and with the positive mindset of looking for solutions strengthens our brain muscles, the ones that are involved in creative thinking. And the more we start practicing this as a daily habit, the more we'll see our creative thinking abilities grow. It would eventually come to a point that it would feel natural to you. And if anyone asks you if you're creative, your response would be, "Of course I am. Everyone is." Here are some techniques that you can start doing right now to enhance your creativity. Start by asking a ton of questions. This might seem too obvious, but the more questions you ask, the more you learn and gain knowledge. The more you consume with the intent of learning, the more growth you'll witness in your abilities to create more and come up with new ideas. Check out my video here where I share in detail how to break phone addiction and stop consuming and start creating more. Next, practice brainstorming. Brainstorming is a very powerful technique used to create new ideas whenever you're facing a problem. But let's start taking brainstorming seriously. Whenever you're working on a problem, put your work away, put your phone far from you, and let's be focused. Grab a pen, a pencil, some post-it notes, or any digital medium where you take notes. And whatever ideas that comes to your mind, write it down. At this point, it doesn't matter if that idea is a good one or not, if it's realistic or not, if it would work or won't work. That's not the goal. The goal is to get as many ideas that you can get and just write them down on paper. Do this as a daily habit for whatever problems you're facing, and you'll see the difference in your ability to create new ideas. Use a technique called forced connections. Now, creativity is about bringing things together, connecting the dots, and combining different ideas together. That's why this technique of forced connections is very useful to generate new ideas. Whenever you're working on a problem, try diverting your attention to some random objects and see what ideas you can get while thinking about that object. For example, what ideas you might get when you look at this Rubik's Cube to solve your problem? Or what ideas you might get by looking at these Lego pieces to solve your problem? And let's say you go out for a walk and you're thinking of your problem, and while doing that, try to look for objects in nature that grabs your attention. And while looking at them, you might be able to get some new insights or some new ideas that pop into your head just by looking at them. This is a technique of forced connections. So there you have it, some techniques that you can start using right away to increase your creative thinking. Remember, creativity is not a skill, it's a way of life. So let's start living creatively. I challenge you to try one of these techniques. Pick one and let me know how it worked for you in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.